is the Intel Esports Arena, and you are joining us for Day 4 of ESL Pro League Season 6. We're going to be kicking off the Friday night with a couple of froths. I wish we were, but actually I'm joined by two gentlemen on the desk, YNK and Natu, and I am your host, Chad Sponge Birchall. We're back again, boys, and it's a Friday. I think this is, you don't normally get online Counter-Strike on Fridays.
So you get a real name, but we don't. What's this?
It's fine.
It's too hard to pronounce.
I don't like, yeah, it's better just call me YNK, it's fine. But yeah, every night's Friday night, Chad, when you're working ESL 1. ESL Pro League.
ESL Pro League Season 6.
Yes, it's hard.
Day
ESL Pro League Season 6, match day 4 of week 1.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of numbers.
Yeah, bang on. I think we should probably, we're going to have a few more Fridays as we go.
Hopefully.
I think we have pants off Fridays. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Who needs pants? They're overrated anyway.
Yeah, so you guys are happy to take your trousers off?
I mean, maybe I have my pants off now.
Well, no one can see.
How would you know?
No one can tell.
No one can tell.
Well, before we get stuck too much into being insane, let's check out what happened in last night's matches and the standings and all that go gear.
Different type of insanity.
Yeah, North American CS. Here she is. This is what happened last night. Optic still at the top of the tables. SK, they did have a Brazilian derby going on against Immortals, and they split the series 1-1, which is a little bit surprising, I think, to everybody, because the Immortals roster from the major stayed together miraculously. Misfits are now popping up the top there. CLG looking pretty good, and down the bottom, teams who we would be expecting to be down there, Rogue and Luminosity, but Cloud9 with a 0-2 loss in their first gaming day. They haven't played against since. That was a bit surprising, but they did have Shroud standing in, so nothing too surprising.
I'd say, you know, look at the standings after a couple of weeks, and then we'll start getting a picture of who's who.
Well, we want to see who loses. I like to see who loses. And speaking of losers, NIP haven't played any games yet, nor have Ldlc. We have them coming on later tonight. Na'Vi will be on the B stream. But at the top, FaZe Clan still up there with an upset loss last night to Big, which was, I think, surprising to everybody. I know, Yanko, you were saying they had an 8-0 lead, Big at one point, and
yeah, Big opened the game with an 8-0 lead, the CT side of Train, and then FaZe managed to win 7 consecutive rounds, won the second pistol, but they lost the second round in the second half, and it seems like that was the turning point for Big. It allowed them to gain some momentum and close out the game.
We got 4 maps coming your way this evening on the main stream. We have Ldlc taking on Fnatic, a Fnatic that we really liked the look of early on, followed by North versus Envious, and they'll be taking, North will be playing the same maps that we saw them playing last night, which is Nuke and Cobblestone.
Must be nice.
Nuke wasn't fantastic for them, but Cobblestone was not too shabby at all. And then on the secondary stream, we have Envy taking kicking it off early against FaZe. That's going to be a close one, I actually think. And Na'Vi versus Heroic. So lots of games going on tonight. That'll be the new Na'Vi roster, I guess, the one with Zeus put back in power, going up for the first time. Their little debut.
Yeah, fun to see. Now they have Simple as the main opera on that team too. You know, fun to see how does that really pan out.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I mean, it's also going to be interesting to see how often does he really pick it up. Is it going to be like other primary operas where he picks it up every time he has enough money for it?
Yep.
Or will it be, you know, situational, but not highly situational, where he goes with the rifle, but then switches between the AWP depending on the situation?
I guess you think they use it a lot on the city side, but on T side, you know, very situational, and then you can build around that.
He's a very sporadic personality and a very sporadic player, so I don't think they should be building the team necessarily around his ult, but we won't get stuck into that for now. We're going to have them on the main broadcast later in the week. Let's talk about Ldlc versus Fnatic first. This is a matchup that I think, you know, most of us would be leading towards Fnatic based on what we've seen from Golden, but we do have the Betway odds up on the screen, and they are going with Fnatic as well. Quite heavy favourites in this one, and I want to just quickly clarify something. Ldlc is not a French team. Let's not refer to them as French. They have 2 guys from Belgium, 1 fake Frenchman who has a British flag, Devil, who is actually French, and then Maniac from...
Let's say they're from the region.
Yeah, but Maniac, he's like Swiss. So depending on what you need, he can be either French or German or Italian, I guess. So
I went to the French Alps.
What?
I went to the French Alps one time.
How was
it?
That was really nice.
Yeah, it is. So if he's from the French Alps, I think that's fine to call him French.
Okay, but it's, what do we just want to call him a European team?
We can. If
probably not important.
I mean, you're
really,
the host, Chad.
Okay, let's start off with
these things.
Let's start off with talking about Ldlc. Now, we get so many little toys this time around. On my little iPad over here, I do have a bit of news, and this was Devil joining the Ldlc roster in place of Mistu. Now, this happened back in June, on the 22nd of June, so some time ago now. And the old boy who was in Envious, he got booted. He is now in this Ldlc roster, and I think, you know, potentially might get a better role because he was known as a lurker before, and he couldn't do that within a team with Happy. So we could be seeing how he really fits into this squad. They've had a couple of recent results lately that aren't too shabby. I think they got into the ECS Development League, so they're not doing too bad.
I mean, he hasn't had any room to work with in that envious lineup.
Yeah.
He was forced to adjust to every single position, which is something that, you know, is not that rare to happen to new young players coming into the lineup. I mean, Body had to do something similar in G2, and he did manage to land on his feet. So a bit unfortunate for Devil. After that, he took a hiatus of sorts, was playing more with his friends in the French scene, and now we see him again in a team that competes internationally. So it will be rather interesting to see how he fits into this lineup. But for me, and I think for many others, the main talking point about this team is existence. You know, his leadership of the team, and whether in all these French shuffles and maybe some, you know, not as satisfying results for some of these teams, will there be a spot that opens up for him again to see him competing with the tier 1 teams? Because with Ldlc, it's only been, you know, Pro League is probably where they face the toughest opposition, and that's just online.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think we should forget about Twine either. Also part of the era when Ldlc had the white and the blue team going on, along with Devil. Also a very, very talented player. I think one of the guys was maybe, you know, on the verge of maybe getting picked up by one of the big dogs within the region, one of the French guys. So I think he definitely needs to be the one to light up the numbers if this team wants to do anything. But so far it's been, you know, at least for me, this team has definitely been kind of under the radar. You know, it's been nothing to be too excited about. It's an interesting concept in the terms of having like those experienced guys, like Existence obviously being a tactical mastermind on his own, and then Maniac, who's been around the block for ages.
DJ
and then,
Maniac.
Exactly. Then adding those 3 younger guys, you know, I think that's a recipe for success in most cases. But so far they haven't showcased that they really could take the next step.
Just the lack of firepower, unfortunately, more than anything else. I mean, probably in combination with some bad individual decisions from some of the less experienced players. So, you know, we see a few talents rising in the French scene, most notably Zaivu, I think his nickname is pronounced. I think he's only 16 years old. So that seems to be the problem with the French scene, actually, compared to the Danish scene, Swedish scene, some of these other scenes. They don't have that many young and upcoming players who just have a lot of firepower that they can bring into a lineup and then just experiment with them and see how far they can take it.
Speaking of young up-and-coming players and in-game leaders, Golden on the side of Fnatic.
Right there.
Yeah, thank you very much. He's come from the Fnatic Academy team. We've already touched on this, and he's been promoted to the main lineup, which is pretty exciting. And we liked what we saw out of these guys the other day. I thought, you know, personally that they had a good plan. It wasn't like the Fnatic of old. People aren't just running around doing whatever they want, trying to find entry frags. The guy looked like he'd already been able to put in a decent structure for the team, especially on Cobblestone, taking that A long control, getting middle, and then doing executes from there. I liked what I saw. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think it's cool. You know, it's the first time we actually see really see a player from an academy team stepping up to the main team. I think that sends a message out to the world that, you know, if you get to be a part of one of these academy teams, there's a possibility, a slim chance, but there's still a chance to be promoted to the main team. And definitely, I mean, if the veteran guys, if they just take his advice and take his ideas and sink them in, at the same time, if he listens to them and their expertise and the experience that they already have, I think that's definitely something that could be working out. Because so far, at least, we've seen in the previous games that they take initiatives that make sense. They do things together as a unit. It's not just one by one kind of trying to be really iffy and edgy, but instead there's always some kind of cohesion and a thought process behind the things they do. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing more of.
Yeah, for me, that dynamic between the core of the team and the most notably Golden and Jumpy as well is what's going to make or break this team, because the way Fnatic used to play Counter-Strike is just, you know, it's obsolete at this point. You cannot expect to be a consistent contender at tournaments with that style of play. So here it's going to be, you know, Fnatic, the core of the team, has definitely been humbled by the results in the past year. So they are going to be more open to trying out new things and listening to even a younger and less experienced player than them in terms of Golden. And also for Jumpy, he now has an in-game leader who is actually going to listen to him and who is going to take his advice and try to implement it. So moving forward, it's going to be very interesting to see how this new Fnatic will actually look like on the server.
Yeah, I think, you know, with Olaf and Dennis in the team before, it was a much more stubborn lineup, right? And, you know, there was always that air that there was the trio of Crim's, surprisingly, was good mates with JW and Flushy. You know, you would normally think that because of that Olaf-Crim's duo, that those guys would be good mates, but it was Dennis and Olaf that seemed to be the friends, and then the other three. Maybe now Golden and Lecro can, you know, have good, I guess, good chemistry and cohesion with the current unit. Then it could be a very interesting lineup going forward.
Yeah, it's like breaking the old dynamic, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they wanted to go back to what worked once upon a time, but they just couldn't find that magic anymore, because you just unconsciously become stubborn in the sense that we did this before, it should work, and even doesn't matter how much you try to reinvent yourself, it doesn't necessarily go that way. There's only so many examples, namely Virtus Pro, that can actually realistically be an example that you can actually reinvent yourself within the same group.
I mean, just an outlier, right? They're just an exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
Basically, they're the only ones who have kept the same roster for that long and, you know, had serious problems at times with their own results. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting seeing how Fnatic will adapt and how these new players will fit in terms of roles. Lekro doesn't seem as someone who has that big of a personality in terms of, you know, that he's going to clash with anyone. He just feels like a guy, I'm here to play CS. I get along with everyone pretty well. So that's obviously good for the dynamics of the team. Yeah,
for sure. And I think, you know, an interesting thing is we get to see new maps out of this Fnatic roster tonight, because we did see them play on, I believe it was Cobblestone and Train on their debut. And now tonight they're going to be playing Inferno and Cage. So Inferno's going to be the map coming up first. And this is one, yeah, I
think I actually saw a tweet from Vugo saying that in their 3 games, they play 6 maps. So they play a different map every time, which is, you know, he said it's very bold for a team that has 2 new players and a new in-game leader to go for that. But it's going to be as well, like, very interesting to see how they perform.
But I like it, though. I mean, early stages of the lineup, you kind of have to dwell into the pool straight away, right?
100%.
You go to the deep end, go to deep waters, because that's the way you're going to learn. You're going to get the experience of playing official games. There's always a difference between the practices and these official games, be it all online or not. So I'm a fan of it. And going to the Inferno, I think this is where, you know, the classic JW playground is going to happen. He's the type of player who can really, you know, break a play, especially when you're playing against a soccer team that you expect Ldlc to be. I think that's the code that Existence will have to try and break before they even get anywhere near a bomb site.
Yeah, and that's something that I know we said not to call them a French team, or we had a bit of a debate about that one, but Existence is the one who basically gave the French scene all those awesome executes, especially on that A bomb site where they're doing that from
Belgium himself.
Yeah, doing it from alt or second mid, you know, with all those smokes and the flashes, the wrap onto A, all those different strategies. And he was the mastermind behind those when we had very strat-heavy CS. And that's something which is still being used today by these French teams. You see it coming out of G2, you see it coming out of Envious. They've just kind of tweaked it for the new map. And if JW is aggressive, like you're saying, he's picking window, he's pushing holes, he's you know, being very annoying.
Using an AWP as a shotgun.
Exactly. Being a combat opera, as I like to put it. That means that it's going to be very difficult for them to set up those executes. So I'm just curious to see how they're going to mitigate that. Maybe they'll start with a bit more aggressive play, because that's a good way to deal with an aggro opera, right? If you go for something a little bit more fast or decisive off the bat, you can catch him with his pants down. Pants off Friday.
What I'm really looking forward to seeing from Fnatic is like trying to kind of mix together the cohesive, like the way they play together and aggressive, but also like letting these individuals they have to roam free sometimes when if they feel like if they have a spawn, you know, have a spawn for apps, you know, go for it, make that play, and then just play around it, so that, you know, I want to have Golden have a leash on these guys somehow, but also you let them free once in a while, just, you know, keep that scary factor as a part of their gameplay.
Yeah, I think it needs to be used appropriately in combination. What do you want to do as a team in that round, and also considering what your opponents have been doing so far. Sometimes, even if you have a great spawn, it's not really the thing you can go for in that particular round. You know, you've been aggressive a couple of times, should just play passive, try to be one step ahead of them and play the mind games.
I think a question is where are these Fnatic guys going to be holding from, right? Because we always had the Olaf and Crim set up on that B bomb site. We no longer have Olaf, so I'd assume Crim's is still going to be over there doing that thing.
I mean, they even changed it while they had the same lineup.
That's true.
They were switching it around. I think Crim's moved to Pit for a while, something along those lines. So obviously at this level of play, you know, players can adapt to any position. It's a matter of just playing a few games, a few practice games, getting used to the angles and the timings. So it's going to be interesting seeing whether they accommodate the new players or whether the new players are going to be the ones that have to do the adjusting.
Very true. I think this side of Ldlc coming into this one are the underdogs. I think we stated that at the start of the show. But for them, it's a very good chance for them to get wins early in the season, right? Because they are going against the new Fnatic roster. They've been grinding since they added Devil, which was late June. The kind of throughout that, so you're going to expect them to be coming in hot, or at least hotter than Fnatic, right?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a two-sided story in the sense that Existence used to be known for being really good at like reading his opposition, having doing a lot of the homework and then prepare for what the opposition does, and then just plan accordingly. But then obviously there's the fact that teams are not as practiced as you are. You should have the upper hand, but then the whole being a little very, very aggressive or just kind of all over the place type of a style that you may end up having to play against when the team is not as practiced, that can definitely be the wrench in in the system. I
think the biggest problem for Ldlc is the level of opposition they're generally used to playing. You look at their past 5 games, it's Havu, Good Job, Maximus, Panthers, and Nasser Risky. And you tell me how many of those teams you recognize.
He knows Havu. He was watching last night. He was getting excited about his old mate Alexi.
The Finnish team is probably the only one you recognize, right? And that's only barely because of some of the more experienced players they have in the lineup. So that's going to be a problem for the individuals now switching to playing more experienced and more skilled opponents. You can't get away with things you do against lower tier opponents. So in the end, for Ldlc, you're just looking towards, okay, how do they set up? What's their game plan like? And what are going to be their mistakes, because they're bound to happen.
Cool. We're feeling a little bit. We're waiting for the players. They're late.
No problem.
Of course they are. Why not?
Yeah. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but the players are late. So
I haven't seen Ldlc in a very long time. They just haven't been anywhere. I know you've done, you watched their games in the last season of Pro League, but it just seems like now it's been a very, very long time. I have to give props to Existence for not coaching.
Or getting relegated?
Yeah, or for sticking to playing, right? Because he looks like the ideal guy to coach, has all that tactical mindset and everything.
Same as a Pronax, right?
I don't know. I think Existence is a better fit simply because Pronax never was like super tactical to this team. Yes, early on with Fnatic, they did used to run executes and so forth, but gradually it just became, individualistic and then reacting to what people are doing. And you have to give him props for mid-round calls, right? 4v4s, 4v3s.
I mean, Existence as a personality, I think would fit the bill perfectly being a coach. If I'm sure everyone.
It's the general type of guy.
You've all seen the videos where he's just having this, everyone's just running up together, and then he's going to have this massive speech for like 8 minutes, going through stuff and just making sure everyone's 110% motivated to the game. So, yeah, definitely he would have the tools, but maybe he just likes to play the game. I mean, I can't blame him. Basically, as a coach, you do the same things you do as a player to an extent, except you don't play at the freaking game.
Yeah. Do we still have time, Chad?
Yeah, go for it.
I had even when this change initially happened, when Existence was kicked out of G2, I felt that G2 is going to be a team that is going to win a tournament probably here and there, make a deep run, but they're never going to be a consistent contender with the style of Counter-Strike that they were going to run with Shox as the in-game leader, right? And that now, in hindsight, seems like to have been correct, that without having very good structure, it's going to be dependent of you having a good run or having good form at one tournament. So would you bring back Existence, let's say G2, not Envious?
Probably not.
Why not?
I don't know.
They won They won one big tournament in the last 8 months.
I don't know what he can deliver, and I think that was the final straw which broke the camel's back, which was, if you look all the way back at ESL 1 Cologne 2015, Renegades versus Titan, where a player here called Chad Sponge Belchel got 27 kills, 12 deaths. He was plus 15 with a rating of 1.65 and knocked Titan out of the major. So I think that's why Existence hasn't been on the top tier French scene ever since. I've lost you guys, haven't I? I've lost you. No, from what we saw last season when I was watching Ldlc play, Existence was actually one of the better players in the squad, right? He has a lot more room to maneuver because he doesn't have...
how terrible his team is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, without being too harsh on them, that's the case, right? The firepower is not there. He's not able, he has to actually do a lot more himself. He's not just moving pieces around the board. Whereas if he goes back to a top tier lineup like a G2, is he going to go back to the thing of just worrying about everybody else? Because I think you need to be more selfish as an in-game leader in modern day Counter-Strike.
I think that there's, if you go look down at history, I think there's been periods of time when Existence has definitely been able to frag, alongside these kind of, the better players in France. It's just like, he's had the stretches where it's not being great, but then I think the big problem is that he's been a little bit stubborn with the way his approach to the game. You kind of had to find the middle ground between tactical and being flexible.
Definitely.
I think he got stuck a little bit too much into the structure side of Counter-Strike.
I know if Vendetta was here, he would talk about how in Source Existence was one of the most skilled players.
He was a beast
ever to play the game and one of the best operators in the game
too. Sensitivity, by the way.
So I mean, he does have skill. High. The thing is, when you play with the likes of Shox, Kenny S, Crim, MBK at the time, you really can't make the round or the game about yourself. You're the one who takes a step back and let those guys flourish pretty much. But I don't know. I believe that there is probably room for him in a tier 1 team, whether it's like a French-Belgium or a French-speaking lineup. But we'll see.
I've got a fun one for you. I got a fun one for you.
I thought you were going to throw.
No, I'm still waiting. Let's use Existence as the in-game leader of your French team. You can't take anyone from G2, but you can take players from... You can take Keo, you can take anyone from Envious, you can take anyone from Ldlc. You can use this new kid you're talking about from FPL.
I would take the new kid.
The new kid, Existence.
I would take Keo, Existence, and I could take Envy players.
You can take Envy players. You got RPK, you've got Scream. Who else we got in that team?
XMS.
Sixer, XMS. You take XMS?
I won't take Sixer. I don't know, XMS, I didn't, I'm not completely sold on him just yet. I'm not sure how good it is. I would put Scream in there. I would put Scream in RPK. Bring back the old RPK Existence duo. The problem is, like, then you're lacking an AWPer, but...
I don't think you need an AWPer.
Existence can all bring back the Source Glory days.
Listen, I think the RPK needs the tank needs a little more oil though. It's been a little rusty every now and again. He's had his moments, but then it's a little up and down. But if he can find a certain consistency to the way he performs, then definitely could see him in a lineup like that.
We're just waiting on one more player, so we're almost there. We'll see if we can quickly grab a little thread here and run with it about the AWPers. Fnatic is a team that doesn't really have... Obviously, JW is the main AWPer, but he's not like an AWPer like a Guardian or Fallen, someone like that you're going to send out on a mission to go find an entry kill. He's going to do it on his own terms.
He's not an AWPer who does what AWPer is supposed to do, basically. I mean, doesn't play that style. Not that he doesn't do it, he just doesn't play that style, Usually, why you buy an AWP is to get long-range advantages, to maybe be aggressive early on in the round, which is what he does. But usually it's like to hold an area of the map, long range, where you're able to evade your opponent's utility and still have a lot of impact in the defense, or to make picks on the offense, which is another thing he does very well. So he's not like the full package of an AWPer. He mostly does... as you said, like, he's a combat AWPer, so he isn't that prone to be defensive and hold lines and kind of just be consistent for you. He's more of a guy who's going to go in, create openings, fight close range, and just create chaos.
I have a public service announcement for all players who think they're professionals. The IP comes up 15 minutes before the game starts, boys. Be like me. I was in there, bang on. I was waiting for that IP. I was clicking refresh on the ESCA website.
27-15 versus Titan. On
I was joining that server, and I was ready, because it's not... We don't mind talking. We love talking. That's our job.
And to get knocked out by an IP, right?
Yeah. 16-6 on Inferno. Yeah. Anyway.
How was that? I remember this.
Just join the server so the viewers at home, your fans, they don't have to wait for you. Let's do that.
Would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah.
We're still reaching. We're still waiting for one guy. Do you guys have anything fun you want to talk about?
Not really.
We went on the Existence thread. What else? What else do we
Talking
have
about
here?
JW and Depth as an AWPer.
Have you ever played, like, how would you feel if you had, you bring in a new guy and he's supposed to be the in-game leader and he's the young guy?
I've never had that because I was always the in-game leader.
Exactly. You're probably the same.
You're probably the same.
Probably the same. So that's probably not the best group of people to ask this question.
Part, yeah.
Henry's the same.
Yeah, but I've been observed from the sidelines. I saw when Ens picked up Ldlc B. He was he's like 19 or something.
Yeah.
Playing alongside like Sunny and the likes, who are already more established guys. I think it's more a matter of like what kind of personality are you. If you have leadership qualities, if you're good at like making everyone work around you, and then you kind of just have that. Poise of being the type that can direct people. It doesn't matter how much experience you have.
And also the rest of the thing, right? You need to have a specific type of personality, not to get frustrated, because things are not going to, be smooth from the very beginning. There are going to be mistakes. That player is inexperienced, hasn't played at that level of Counter-Strike, and he's going to call things that he thinks will work, and they won't, because at a higher level, your opponents are just used to some of the smaller gimmicks and so forth. So you need to be mature enough, I guess is the word, to wait that period out and to have faith and to just give tips and give advice to the young in-game leader and just have faith in him, because listen, if none of you guys want to do it or none of you is capable to do it, then give respect to the young and upcoming player who's going to do it for you.
No, I mean, I've always said that doesn't matter if you don't make the best call in the world, as long as everyone's committed to the cause.
100%.
It can definitely work every single time.
I think that's one of the reasons why Cloud9 in that original summer lineup, I think it was the 2015 one with Freakazoid and Sean Gare still in the lineup.
Yes.
I think that's one of the main reasons why they had such a good run, because that was when Sean, like, they removed Semphis from the lineup, and Semphis was the most vocal one, you know, giving ideas, and it was a bit of it's not rivalry, but you know, a bit of division perhaps in that sense of in-game leading. And then when Sean had the full reins and everyone was buying into his calls, sometimes the calls weren't perfect, but you could see that Freakazoid would be, you know, super committed to that, super determined as the entry fragger. He would go all the way in, and that would give room to Shroud, you know, Jordan to come in second and third and still get entrance into the bomb side. So that's, even if the in-game leader has an amazing call in hindsight, but if the players don't really believe it, then the round might not even work despite it being a good call.
Well, we just did a lot of filling, but the good news is we're ready and raring to go. And Just Henry and Harry G, I guess they're ready as well. Boys, take it away.
He's been building that throw up all day, and that's what he's got for us. It's original. I guess it's something. It's a development. He's still working on it.
Yeah, you know, I think we're all improving. You know, it's not perhaps the best throw we've ever had, but I think it's a step in the right direction. We said he had to be more original. There you go. That was it. Good job, chat.
Well, here we go then. Fnatic, we've already casted him once against Big. They look pretty decent there, didn't they? Golden, especially, quite a nice addition. You've been a fan of him, and I think I'm converted as well. I think he looked pretty decent.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the whole team, I guess I've probably seen more of the new would-be Ldlc here as well. I don't really think you would have seen much of them. I don't think they've really been at anything that you've worked on, at least recently. You know, Yanka was saying he hasn't seen much from them aside from Pro League last season. But ultimately, you know, I think this addition of Devil is something that's going to work out well for them. I was really questioning whether or not he could be the extra firepower that they needed. Of course, they dropped Misto, and then they brought Devil in. But Misto have been quiet for a very long time. Devil kind of brings a bit of firepower into the roster. Alex has been allowed to step up now as a result. I think really the players we want to be keeping an eye on, though, especially considering it is Inferno, are the Alex, Existence, and Devil combo. They're going to be the top three.
Yeah, Ldlc had definitely been a turbulent team. Some nights, especially last season, they looked very good, and then sometimes they'd get completely blown out of the water. It's always difficult to predict what they're going to bring to the table here, but we're all ready to go. It is going to be Fnatic versus Ldlc. Fnatic starting on the CT side here, and 4 sets of armor for Ldlc, and Alex with the smoke and 2 flashbangs favoring towards the banana here. Looks like Ldlc should be able to pick up this first frag, unless Golden somehow gets away with murder. He gets that first kill and falls back as well. Twine drops down. It's a 5-on-4 and heavy damage inflicted. Golden didn't really take anything for that. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, somehow allowed to overstay his welcome. Now Ldlc, they are going to be a man down, turning their attention in here towards the B-bomb site. Crim's not going to try and keep them away. Does find the first, keeps on peeking out. They haven't got a smoke for Coffins, so he can just be a constant threat. Man down in CT is going to start to spring into action as that smoke begins to dissipate. Golden still holding this off towards the back of the site. Flusher allowed to tap this one away, and Maniac left in the 1v3.
Yeah, didn't have to die there, Flusher, but still have a huge advantage here. It's a 3-on-1 situation. Maniac, they know where he is, and the bomb is down on the side, of course. 28 HP now, and he will not be winning this round. He might be able to pick up one more cheeky kill. If he's lucky, that is. I mean, $900 farmed in this round for him. Certainly won't get the plant. They're going to push him, though. No real need for this, but they do get away with it. JW with the final frag there. And a simple approach from Ldlc. Wanted to go obtain the banana control nice and early at the start. And at that point, try and execute. They had one smoke, the flashbangs as well. They'd smoke CD spawn, flash over. But Golden, I did say at the time, he looked very brave getting towards that, I was about to say car position. I guess it's more boxes now. We'll see whether he could get the first kill, which he certainly did. Didn't really take much damage for it. Ball loads of time. Ldlc were fully committed. All 5 players on that side of the map had to go in and got completely torn apart. No bomb going down. And we'll have a force buy here from the French side. Ldlc with PT50s and Tech 9s. Bit of utility. 3 smokes. A little bit more tactically focused, the Ldlc team.
Yeah, and one thing, you know, we're used to seeing from Ldlc, in particular on Inferno, is this very slow style of play. They spread out, they hold this default for a very long time before they do eventually decide to commit into one of the sites, and that allows them to bait out the utility from Fnatic. It's also the kind of very existent style of play, so it's one that they're very used to. And any time really you ever see them look too vulnerable is where they can't go for that, you know, and they have to try and go a bit faster. Existence is good at realizing when that might be the case, but it's not necessarily something that really goes to the strength of Ldlc.
They have got that full banana control, is what they wanted in the pistol round. They have all their smokes to work with as well. They can smoke towards Coffins. CT spawn, which they have done now. Flashbangs going over. Twine can save his smoke for even when the bomb does go down, they can hold it off for a little bit longer here. In we go. They have managed to pick up some sort of map control here. Smokes are decent. Crims can't do much about this, but he does get a ding through the smoke, and Golden Zeta back him up.
Oh, and the bomb actually fell all the way through the smoke right into the hands of Fnatic. This couldn't have gone worse for Ldlc. They get control of the site, but one of the players in his dying breath throws the bomb into the hand of the enemy, and there we go. JW gets himself 3.
That was really nice from JW. Crispy towards the end there with the M4A4. It looked like it was getting a little bit problematic with not dropping a single frag. They gave away the bomb site at the start. The smokes were good there from Ldlc, but no plant going down and no kills obtained. It's all for naught, really. It was quite pretty to watch it all coming into play, but not finding the frags required. There has to be the full eco now. Fnatic certainly are the favoured team, I would say, generally speaking, in terms of skill ceiling they have here available on the server. Likes of Crims, Flusher, JW, no introduction needed for those guys. Multiple major champions. We go to round number 3 now. Ldlc, not really much they can do with this one. They've got one flashbang here, saving that for Banana. That could work out. You can see Crims getting overzealous here, perhaps. Gets, well, all the kills really. He could be backed by Golden as well. Nothing to get too excited about. Full eco, Ldlc blown out the water there. So they did force buy in that second round, meaning that they can still get a buy on the T side. Probably won't get the AWP out just yet. I'm interested to see how Devil can perform here today, though. Obviously, was part of the Envious team for about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, and it was disappointing, I would say, to say the least. They never really got anything done. I think they won a single tournament, which was a Gfinity, and maybe second place at another, which escapes me right now. But he was always a good CS player. It didn't seem like it really worked out for him at all in that lineup.
Actually, Ldlc are saying they're a slow team, but they're going to try and go quickly. And actually, the break supplied by JW does slow this right down. The trade going to come in from the man in question. That's Devil. But it's still a 2-for-1. The man advantage still up here for the Swedes, Golden and Crims. They're the two that have thrown the spanner in the works. They've snuck all the way up through mid, just going to be waiting with bated breath. And you can see that Ldlc are aware of the possibility. They aren't going to check it, though. They have Devil holding the angle. He's only 4 HP. Crim's now sneaking up into Apps, going to look to try and apply that much more pressure. And Ldlc literally trapped over in top mid. Good night, Existence. He goes down. Bomb dropped. Golden has himself the AK to play with. And Devil, 4 HP in a dream. How to find the first? How does he survive that? But then Lekro does finish him off. So there we go.
So you're right. It's a strange round from Ldlc. They knew they were up against the bonus round, right? Not fragging a single player in the second round. There was an array of UMPs, FAMASs, M4s. They're trying to capitalize at the very start of the round and think, well, we've got more firepower here. We have the AKs in the hand to stay up as a group, run together and try and get the refrags there. But JW, he finds the first 2 kills. He dinks the third, does damage to a 4th as well. So the round is pretty much done at that point. Golden with another great flank. Seems really confident and assertive with his plays at this moment. It's going to be a partial buy from Ldlc. Maximum loss bonus next round. So Deagles, PT50s, 3 sets of armor, that $3,400 going into the next round. Necro, as you can see, working the apartments. Oh, I thought that was a guaranteed kill. Can go for the wall bang here if he wants to. Decides to pull back, and that's a nice shot there from Alex. You did point him out as a keen fragger for Ldlc. Opens things up. I doubt they'll get much more than that 1 frag, but it's a decent start.
Yeah, better damage done, and it's such a light investment from Ldlc. They ask for a little bit more. JW over a middle, misses those shots. Now we're going to look over at Crims as he waits in the B-bomb site, just lying in wait for this push to come through. Bomb actually going to be dropped down in the bottom of mid, so that means either of these guys up in A can rotate back and get it, or the guys from Banana can do the same. Existence, Devil, and Antoine starting their fallback down through Banana, from where they can actually go and join up with the guys over on A.
Still the advantage here, but the lack of utility, that's where the problems begin to start here for Ldlc. Sure, they have 5 players here, all in the same position as well, but as soon as they find a CT with any sort of range, he's going to capitalize here. Spots 1, but JW still in an awkward position. The flashbang's good, but there it is. The frag starting to roll in now for the CTs. A couple coming back, though. Still a 3-on-2 in favor of the French side, but Golden doing more significant damage now. Crims, the master of clutches. We'll see whether he can step up and manage to hold them off. He is rotating in from the B-bomb side here. Alex on 2 HP, and Twine, he'll be on 37. Crims is baiting out. He's headed towards the quad side there. Sound cues heading in that direction, but they're both turtling up on the bomb side.
Alex is tagged so low, and Crims, he's aware of this fact. Starts to sneak on in, holds the angle, taps away. Twine goes down. Now it's him versus the 2 HP on Alex. Isn't aware that he's still waiting within the site. Actually believes that he's going to be somewhere down in pit. So starts to make his way on in. Checks the cubby, but Alex lands the shot, and he's been so damn good at that. That's the triple. A kill that really he never should have had. 2 HP in a dream, and somehow he makes it connect. That's going to be Ldlc in with their first.
He could hear Crim's stampeding towards him. Crim's had an inkling he was there. Went for it, tried to pre-fire, but Alex one step ahead of the game. Rips his head off. 2 HP as well. I have no idea how he comes out on top in that situation, but it's a big round for Ldlc. A partial buy there. Deagle's body armor, a couple of flashbangs. That was it. But now the orb's out. Full buy here. French are looking good. Still with the decent money themselves. It's going to be Fnatic. JW, of course, on the AWP. Alex making his way towards the apartments. It will be Twine on the T steps of the AWP, and we'll see who can open up things here. Very deep all round from both sides right now. Flashat trying to show some presence there towards middle, spamming some shots through. Not much damage inflicted, but Maniac's feeling brave, walking to the end of the apartment right now. Surely he goes down, but he hits the shot. That's lovely from Maniac.
JW in the meantime knows he has to try and step on up, rotates back into the site, but in the meantime they're going to try to push out through mid. The smokes have rained in. Flush is meant to be helping out, but he can't find anything through the smoke. Very unflusher of him. JW held back by a smoke over here at long. This should facilitate that bomb plant. It's going to be Fnatic 4v5 in the retake, but Maniac and Existence are both tagged low.
I think he's safe here. I think it's over.
Yeah, I mean, with Golden still being trapped all the way down here on Banana, Devil hasn't even bothered rotating off just yet. There's actually only 3 players for Ldlc inside that A-bomb site. They're just keeping up this aggression, keeping Golden pinned, and they could very easily shut down these players as they look to try and save.
Yeah, definitely saving 9 players up, and maybe no more frags. But Devil at that wall position, waiting for his chance. He could get flashed over. His teammate at the bottom of T steps there as well. Flashbangs could come through, but look how close they are to each other. That's quite funny that no one's going to be going down potentially here. I think when the bomb actually goes off, that's when Devil probably strikes. Wait for it. Does he go any further? Surely has a little look. No. He could have costed them so much there. It's worth him going down, I think. But didn't fancy it. I think that was certainly worth a risk just to try and go for that single frag. 4-2, Ldlc just getting that 1 frag. That's all they needed in that round, Harry. That's quite a strange one to see in Counter-Strike generally. 1 kill in a single round. But Maniac walking to the end of the apartments, blows off the head. I think it was a flusher on the A side. And then at that point, capitalized and smoked off towards Arch, and the rotations just weren't there for Fnatic. And decided to fall back. I think it was a wise decision. Those are very difficult situations for the CTs to retake with. And now, do have another full buy. 4-2 in favour of Fnatic still. Plenty of cash considering they saved 4 weapons.
Yeah, money isn't going to be an issue just yet for that CT side. Maniac and Alex both holding over in apps. It's Devil and Twine down on Banana. Existence, he's the man with the bomb, trying to carve a path up through mid by the looks of things as him and Twine start to push on up. Smokes rain in once again. It's going to hold JW back. The utility usage from Ldlc right now has been paramount to their success in these rounds. And this looks to be no exception. Smoke gone down. Over towards short. Second smoke out from Maniac. It's keeping their attention up here on A because he flushes waiting down in Library. JW and Lekro both playing it between short and pit respectively. And that's going to mean these rotates into B are going to be very, very long indeed. Maniac might even try pushing out through Arch to try and catch these rotators off guard. He's about to come into contact with Flusher, and Flusher will win that out. So now the rest of his teammates over here at B. Throw in the utility. The smokes and flashes start to soar into the site. It's going to be Golden and Crims to try and step up. Crims going to go ahead and get the trades. Peeks on out for more. Takes a second. That's bomb drop. Make that 3 as Crims single-handedly locks down the B-bomb site.
Yeah, Crims looking sharp there. Excellent shots as they finally commit to the B-bomb site. You can see what Maniac was trying to do. Show presence towards the A side of the map. He had decent mid-control there. Getting up by himself. If he gets 1 kill, he maybe forces a rotation. His teammates can go in. Unfortunately, he goes down. And then at that point, his teammates have to fully commit. They get the trades there. Maybe they have a real chance. But Crims just too hot to handle. He takes 3 down. Secures the round for Fnatic. It's going to be 5-2. Money's still available, though, for Ldlc. It's starting to dwindle down there. You can see Existence with no nades whatsoever. 5 AKs, 4 smokes, a few flashbangs here, limited on utility in the terms of Molotovs. There's one of them, the only one they've got, towards the boiler room steps, and Alex trying to find that frag towards the apartments. Right now, no one in there for the CT side. It's JW with that AWP looking towards the boiler room.
Ldlc with 4 players up here towards A. They're going to go ahead and smoke off long. Over a similar push to what we saw in round number 4, I think, round number 5, sorry. Ready to go pushing on in. JW spots the man, does manage to tag Alex down at 41 HP. Uses push on that flusher actually to fall, but the trade comes in straight away from Golden as the support arrives perhaps a little bit too late. They don't expect the aggression from JW as he finds the first, goes back for more, and he'll be gifted that one as he takes a second onto the double. And now Maniac and Devil, they're the two that remain very, very isolated from one another with the bomb drop down in mid, Devil rotating round. Crim's about to peek on out and discover that the bomb lies in wait down in middle. He's going to start to take some aggression. Here's the player rotating up through mid, but falls prey on the peak. It's Golden to step up and trade them both out.
Well, there it is. Fnatic starting to look very good now indeed. We've had big rounds from JW, then from Golden as well. Crim's has shown some excellent form, and JW opening frags here with that AWP, taking down Twine. And that should call for the eco at this point for Ldlc. So a couple of good rounds from them. One of them winning the pistol round with the deagles and body armor. But for now, it's going to have to be P250s and Glocks. One flashbang usually means try and get some apartments control, flash out, overwhelm whichever CT's there. Hopefully get some decent timing. But JW, he knows the money's going to be weak. Decent nade towards the bedroom. Actually, let Crow finding Maniac there as he roasts him at the top of the apartment.
Oh, but in the meantime, Crim's.
There's no need to be there, really, is there? You know, against PT50s, right? Can just fall back, can hold the crossfires. You've given an AK away now.
And actually, Devil's got armor, so suddenly aim punch doesn't play into it for him. JW spots one player rotating back down through T stairs. Gonna keep holding it. But yeah, no, rightfully so. I mean, they've got themselves that AK now to play with. Devil peeking out through mid, gonna try and clear this. JW's fallen back passive and given them the ability to cross down from Banana. Doesn't want to get caught out in the open with that scavenge stake. It's just an extra worry for these guys now to have to try and contend with. You've upped that firepower for the T side dramatically. They're going to start to push up Banana. Primed and ready to begin this assault into B. No utility though.
I have to walk into the side and hope Devil can find all the headshots required here. Player a new box. Gives his position away, unfortunately. I'll buy the cities a bit of time here. And now Flash up going to work with that UMP and then some. Finds all 3 kills, farms some cash and finds a dropped AK as well. That's a great round for him. Let's look at the money for Ldlc. It's still a decent buy, 4K pretty much across the board. Harry, I'm going to sneeze quickly, so you're going to take over.
There you go, perfect. Yeah, that is going to be another round for Fnatic. As you said, the heroics to come in from Flush. A nice bit of money made.
Ooh,
Save the AK. That's all good. Happens to the best of us, Henry.
Yeah. Well, 7-2. This game looking a little bit dire now for Ldlc. A couple of promising rounds, but we haven't seen that much in terms of that tactical execution, which we predicted. Obviously, Devils need to decide, but Inferno definitely lends itself to it, but you need to get the map control first. The way they've won the rounds is the pistol, force wave, which we discussed before, and then that very simple round, default or Maniac was pushed towards apartments, got 1 kill, and only needed 1 kill for the round. It's really difficult for me to analyze that round for you. It's a bit of an anomaly. That's not going to happen every time. That's not a tactic. Maniac go kill 1 on A. That's not going to work for them. He didn't have to use any nades. Had no one with him. Just got the kill. CTs were in bad positions, and they couldn't win the round. But here's the replay. A flush up with that UMP, farming plenty of cash there, picks up the AK. CT's in a very good spot now, money for days as JW runs towards the boiler room, might face towards second middle here. We'll have a look, goes for it. Spots one, but misses it. Oh, I take it back, he doesn't miss. He takes Alex down to 20 HP, make it 13 with the HE grenade as well. JW, that's lovely. Takes down Twine in the underpass as well. He's causing so much damage this round.
Nade able to find Alex down through middle. Man advantage extended even more. The bomb dropped as well. Right now, everyone in Ldlc very, very separated. And there we go. Devil falls in the smoke existence. There's no way he could possibly trade that out. They're just going to go ahead and re-smoke it. I mean, if you're Ldlc now, you've only seen 1 or 2 of the people who have actually done all this damage. Where do you even go from this, Henry?
This round's over, I'm afraid. Any tactic they had in mind, they took a pause before, has now been shut down. JW's dealt with that. 1 half kill. Oh my god, Flusher. This is just sick. They're all firing on all cylinders here. It's beautiful. The aggression coming in, the lack of respect on the CT side. Existence might get a couple of constellation frags. Gets 1, but anything Ldlc had in mind there, just completely wrecked. And in terms of loss bonus, 4th stage now, but not really enough to buy with, generally speaking. So I've taken up a Rico here. Here's JW. After facing towards second middle and taking Alexander 13 HP, hits that shot. And it seemed like everyone was finding kills through smokes, 1 taps of AKs. And now it has to be another round with P250s for Ldlc. 5 of those. HE grenades available, suggest they go towards Banana and nade the top. But a couple of HEs from the CTs themselves do significant damage towards Twine. And it will be a Banana rush as they run through the flames here.
Clear charging in, things continue to heat up for the Maniacs, fully flashed out in the open. Golden holding from CT, and Ldlc, they've grinded to a halt. There are brakes on this train as it comes crashing down around them. Flusher and Golden, they start mopping this up. Damage done from Alex, but that should be it, and there we go. The round is all said and done. Ldlc, they get nothing done. Fnatic going to be on to a 9th. Fantastic CT side thus far, and Ldlc, I have to say, it doesn't even feel like we're watching a team that's led by Existence right now, as we haven't really seen a lot of that sort of, more slow, methodical tacticality we associate with the man.
We'll see what they can bring to the table here. Just looking at the frag charts right now, Existence 2 for 10, and top fragger Devil 6 and 10. No one's really stepping up for them, but on the other side, Golden, JW, Crim's all having sensational games here as well. JW, the aggression once again. They can choose to leave him there as well. Now he's established at the barrels, they can fall back, and that's at 4 towards 8, but looks like they want a little bit more out of this. They might push down and go for the backstab once again. As you can see, that could be happening. The fact they have 2 players here suggests they will go all the way with this. No reason to stay around this area with 2 players. Even 3, they go all the way.
Oh, but Twine fast on the trigger, able to find the first, and the second goes back in for more, but will it be given to him? Yes, it will. JW comes up trumps in the engagement of the 2 AWPers, but still the damage has been done by Twine. In the meantime, the rest of Ldlc started to make their way out through mid and out, but JW, it's not enough to stop the unrelenting aggression from this man. On the desk, they said he does things that AWPers should never do, and there we go. He's going to get punished for it. He will actually go down, and that's the B-bomb site gifted to Ldlc if they want to take it.
Should be the round as well. It's just poor old Flusher now as he heads towards the B site. It's a bit of a fake. They're showing some presence there. Existence running through towards CD spawn round, but it's guaranteed at this point. Flusher in the 4 versus 1. He's in the ruins, hoping they rush towards B, but that's not going to be happening. He'll keep his AK. As soon as the bomb goes down, he would probably want to go for this one. He might cause some damage and try and get some exit frags here. Still doesn't really know what's going on as he holds towards first oranges, looking towards ruins as the frags once again. Didn't get to break down the CT side very well. So it's going to be Golden, 14 kills, JW, 13, Crim's 10, Lecro, 4 and 3. To be fair, the way the rounds have been going, he hasn't had many frags available to him, but should be one of the star players eventually within this team. Very good individual talent. As the bomb is planted, like I said, flush up. He knows his round's over, just looking to get some exit frags potentially here. Establish himself a turret position, see what he can do.
The one thing I keep finding myself saying, though, is I just keep thinking, Ldlc, they haven't done anything too tactical because they haven't had the money for it. And I keep telling myself, few rounds time, we'll get to see it.
Well, that round was more or less gifted to them, right?
Yeah.
Because they hold up in the default. To be fair, why not? If the Fnatic are being so aggressive with you and they're having that lack of respect, just punish them for it. If you're waiting at T steps for them to push the way through, that's a way to win rounds. It works out. If Fnatic don't know when to stop, like that round for me, you get JW set up the car or the barrels, whatever you want to call it. Once he's there, that's setup done. You've got him in a safe position. No one else is there. There's no real reason to push down towards T steps here. That smoke had gone down. Trying to go to face it. Nice shots from him, to be fair. These 2 were great, but didn't really have to happen like that. This is just Ldlc reading the aggression and trying to counter it. Change of pace over Fnatic. The double AWP setup coming in. Golden on the AWP. I'm interested to see how that goes. And we go into round number 13. 9-3. Golden this time. Want to get a little bit aggressive there towards Banana, but we'll fall back.
He's trying to show us he's a man of many talents, Henry. He's new on the IGL train and also showing he's a competent fragger. Now looking to show you can AWP with the big boys as well, but it's JW, the main AWP of Maniac, to pick things up early on. Down goes Existence as Golden. Able to win that duel out, keeps this push coming in very slow and disjointed. Devil, the first man in.
Ooh. Well, it's a nice shot from Alex. They still have a shout within this round. They take down Crims without a casualty. They might have to do something with it, but they're taking so long to get to the side here. Rotations will be coming in. Crims is giving them all the intel they need, and he finds a shot again. He's been so good on this B bomb site. Surely he doesn't get both. He will not, but Flusher finishes the job, and they have been completely shut down here. Fnatic reset once again. There is residual cash here. 2 players will be on Tech 9. 3 of them can buy, though. But there it is once again, the double orb setup working very nicely. Good adjustment there, as we'll see. JW and Golden picking up frags. Oh, a little run boost there as well. Nice to see. Gets you there a little bit quicker. And like I said, pistols and 3 AKs. Just a single orb setup this time. I assume one of the orbs got dropped there. I think Golden got taken down towards the barrels. So JW go for that aggressive pick once more. Of course he does. Flashbangs good as well. So nice when you see that. It's one of the features of CSGO. We didn't have an other iteration, seeing the players with their arms over their face. You just know you've got a guaranteed frag. It's quite nice to see. Flusher chimes in as well. That lack of respect Counter-Strike coming back in here.
Yeah, it's those 2 rifles and the Tech 9 Antoine left. Gonna leave little to be desired when it comes to firepower.
Yeah.
Desperately there you go, he does manage to get the AK. I was going to say, if they got stuck down by the flower pot, that would have been very depressing for Ldlc. Golden gets boosted up in the meantime down here on the B-bomb site. Crim's going to begin his rotate back into the relative safety of B. Devil, once again, pushed up very far on his own. No one here to trade it. Trying to sell a bit of a fake, perhaps, as the rest of the guys lie in wait over on A. The 2 of them going with no support from Devil. They are going to be very much up against it with the 3 players for Fnatic holding the A-bomb site, but they'll cross that bridge when they come to it. Going to go ahead and rotate background. Or group up and try pushing in towards B. Crims and Golden, they're the 2 that have to step up here for Fnatic. Keep Ldlc at bay.
Well, should be quite the easy task considering it is the 5-on-3. Basic execution here. They are desperate. It's getting out-fragged and outclassed in terms of the 1v1 duels. I mean, they've double smoked towards CD spawn there, so a bit of a blunder. In that respect, Golden almost checking the boost. Harry, this is a bit of a mess from Ldlc generally. It doesn't seem like that. Like you said, the tactics aren't really there. The fundamentals, seems like it's all falling apart. Fair enough, it's 5-on-3. They can't check everything, but not even being aware after double flashing it. Crim's just had to avoid. Look how flashed he is. Just he's in the open, he's exposed there. They're not even looking at it. Tunnel vision towards the bomb site and double frag for Golden. 11-3. Pistols for the final round. It's not looking good, I have to say.
I'm a little bit disheartened, Henry. You know, I was expecting more for Ldlc coming into this. Recently, they have looked pretty good. They went on a bit of a speech saying how they were really desperate to prove that they weren't a kind of...
Well, the rounds they've already won. Pistols, once. And then they had the round where CT's pushed them all to T-steps, took them down there. And it hasn't really felt like they've won a convincing round. The other one was a Maniac, just walked to the end of apartments for that 1 frag. In terms of the tactics, haven't really been there. A couple of good shots here or there, but for now, pistols. It's round number 15. Doing some damage towards JW. We didn't find the frag, and he's got the AWP as well. Seeing this fallback as well, a very defensive line. Probably towards Library or something like that. Trying to coming in towards B. We've got the bomb as well. Devil with that PT-50, trying to see what he can do here. But the CTs have been amazing at B. Crims especially. What a performance he's put on this side of the map.
Yeah, Ldlc, they're about to go walking into him as they throw the smokes and flashes out once again. They're going to go charging in. Crim's waiting for them in the corner. Finds the first, but look at this push coming in from Alex, who's been allowed to wrap all the way around from here. He could do so much damage. They've got no idea that he's even in the back line right now. The rest of Ldlc going to go ahead and wait. Down on Banana for Alex to try and get the job done. Walks out, spots the first, is able to take him down, goes in for more, but then gets caught out by Crims down in CT. And from here, he can take up the positioning, look to try and anchor this site, and anchor it he will. Finds the first, is going to fall on the trade, but he's bought time for Flusher to start to make his way on in. Here's the man down on Banana, tags him low, existence, the bullet magnet. Tagged to a measly 13 HP. As the rest of Fnatic come charging on in, hounded by the guns. Ldlc find themselves trapped within the site. 2v3, bomb planted. Haven't been given any time whatsoever to get into comfortable afterplants. They have the crossfire set up at least. Resistance out in the open though. No way he gets much done here. Actually is able to find one. Twine playing around the pillar. Flusher is quick. Very, very quick. And that is going to be Fnatic 12-3. A fantastic CT side.
It just seems like all 5 players for Fnatic right now are fragging, and they're fragging hard. That lack of respect Counter-Strike I discussed earlier in the half as well. Pushing when they have to. Sometimes a little bit too much. Over Ldlc a couple of rounds away in that regard, but Ldlc just don't have a response. No one's really stepping up for them. And we'll see if they can come back in the second half, Ari, as we'll take a break. All right, welcome back. It's Fnatic versus Ldlc, and I have to say a little bit of a disappointing showing so far from the boys in Ldlc. Seems like the frag isn't really there. The tactical prowess we expected hasn't really arrived, and Fnatic, they're firing on all cylinders, looking very good indeed. So it's going to be the pistol here, much needed for Ldlc. They switch over to the CT side. They've got 1 defuse kit, 2 flashbangs, looking at the Fnatic boys. Golden with the smoke. Flashbang HE, very common for the in-game leader to carry the utility. Most teams do favour towards B, but you can do an all range of different tactics on Inferno. 4 towards Banana at the start with the HE probably near the top. Push the CDs back, and there is going to be a challenge from Twine here.
And he's going to get punished for it. Tagged back down to 4 HP. Now, one thing I will say, if Ldlc pick this up, they could start paving that path to a comeback. We saw the same thing happen just yesterday, actually, if you remember, in the Heroic versus Astralis game. So let's see if Ldlc can tell a similar story here. As Fnatic line up their smokes and flashes into B, it's Golden. Going to be throwing that in while the rest of the guys stack on up. It's going to go ahead, pull that in the sight. This actually allows them to go ahead and cross, and from here, wrap a couple of players down through CT. It's going to get very tricky for Twine to stay alive, and he'll get shot in the back as JW is able to find him. With only 1 man inside of B, the site has already fallen. The rest of Ldlc start to make their way back in as the penny drops as to exactly what is going on. Alex, the first man up Banana. The rest of the guys still trapped back in CT because of JW taking these duels early on along with Flusher. Alex has to try and step up, provide that entry for the rest of his team, and that will be a quick flick to drop out 1. Crim's on the return, Golden tagged away. But it's Lekro to take 2, Existence left in the 1v3. And things are not looking easy for him. He's just going to make this into fall back and save. That will be Fnatic to pick up the pistol, and with it, this could very well be the foreshadowing of the end, Henry.
Could be. Fnatic looking very good here. That HE grenade at the start, fast into other side, found the opening pick, bomb down. Very difficult to retake that site, especially when Ldlc aren't really turning up in terms of their fragging potential here. Maniac should be one of their big fraggers, 4 kills for him. Twine, the AWPer, 5, like Devil, the new boy, 6. Existence finds a couple of frags in the last few rounds, but no one's really hitting anything. So that's a problem. Fnatic, unfortunately for the Ldlc boys, are hitting every single shot. It's only Ldlc that hasn't really had to do anything.
Yeah, and even then, if it gets asked of him to step up, then he will. So Fnatic are in the driver's seat in a very big way. They're going to be up against the four-spot Ldlc side as they start to push up through mid. It's JW clearing out these close angles. Has 2 players off to his left. It's going to be Existence Antoine, along with actually Alex and Devil to his right. So a 4-man crossfire down here in mid. Surely this is how Ldlc finds something, but Twine falls on a bit of an overzealous peak as the pop flash doesn't pay off. They go out for another one. Golden and Crim's between them start mopping up players in middle. Existence able to take one. Devil chimes in as well, but Crim's on the trade. Very quickly turns his A-bomb site into a bloodbath. Existence is the last man left. He's got to step up in a big way. We know he could potentially do some damage. Damage he shall do as he takes a second down with him. Maniac rotating in, turns it into 1v1. And this is looking promising here for Ldlc. Knows exactly where he is. It's Flusher within the site. Oh, but he's tagged to 2 HP. Flusher, this is a tall order even for this man. As he finds himself now in the 1v1, Maniac has to start making his way in sooner rather than later. Time ticking down, doesn't have the kit to play with.
It's such a horrible position to be in now. He has to go with that full defuse with 10 seconds left, but that sort of helped. Oh, he's got the kit as well. I think he wins. It could be over. He's done it. Okay, well, a lifeline there. Well, it seemed like it was the GG. Fnatic had done enough, but the force by Ldlc just about works out. The 2 versus 1. Maniac managing to get the job done. It wasn't the most triumphant clutch. It felt like it was, I don't know, there's something about it. It wasn't that exciting. But he did manage to drop the smoke, and it looked like that was the job done at that point. A poor plan. The Fnatic player obviously very low, couldn't really get much done there, but still, good job by Maniac, and it keeps Team Ldlc alive, at least for now, as the force buy comes in.
That's the most anticlimactic clutch I think I've seen. But yeah, good job to Maniac as he keeps Ldlc in this one. They live to fight another day. The 2 AKs brought up for Fnatic as they try to force buy down into this round. Bomb plant going to help out massively here. Plan to facilitate that much more utility over on the T side. You can see that Golden and Ldlc have armor behind these Ds along with a boatload of utility up on Golden. So they're not too limited. The buy isn't that bad. Already making their way up towards A. They leave Flusher to hold the flank down through Banana in case Ldlc fancy their hand at some aggression. He is one of the rifles, so it wouldn't surprise me if maybe we see one of these pistol players rotate in to take up the position for him. Looks like they are just going to carry on with this. They try to push out through middle, test the waters early on. Maniac, Devil in the meantime tried to answer back with some aggression on Banana. It didn't work out for Maniac. Devil holding the close angle. Pop flash going to come through. Devil falls as well, and that's the 2-man advantage. Rifles picked up for the guys that were relegated down to these pistols. JW worked all the way up through library. Existence is the only man who can do anything here.
Yeah, that play towards CD spawn, that's just roundo. Oh, God, is why he's hitting those shots. Yeah, that's done. Well, lovely stuff from Fnatic, and unfortunately for Ldlc, it's a reset as well. They'll have to save these 2 weapons. They get the first frag for JW, but just not enough to work with here. 1 kip, sure, but Flusher, he's on the hunt now. He's already had a couple of frags. CT's desperate hold onto the weapon. It's going to be 14-4. They'll go towards the apartments here. You can see on the minimap, 1 in towards Pip. That's actually Twine and quad, I believe, so I think they might lose at least 1 player here. Twine needs to hit absolutely everything. Decent flash. See if he can stay alive.
Yeah, Crim's desperate. He wants to get himself a rifle, but he crab walks out into the line of Existence. Spots another man, but just plays it safe. Twine doesn't fall either, so they actually do a little bit of damage before they go. Ultimately, though, it's going to be the force for Ldlc. What can they muster up? Answer is not that much. A couple of UMPs, the rifles that were saved. Devil looks like he's going to be restricted all the way down to a pistol. It's not terrible, Henry, but it's not ideal either. We've seen them lose with more.
Yeah, it's certainly not ideal, but still, As long as the score doesn't reach 16, he's still within the game, and Existence starting to find some form now as well. Pushes down the banana, takes down Golden. A bit of a desperate push there, but it does work out. It's going to be a 5-on-4. The advantage for now, doing some damage there towards JW as well. So they are within this round and the game, for that matter. But Crim's towards the apartment right now. They'll slow things right down. Wait for these smokes to go down, and Ldlc won't have much utility left over. 3 flashbangs, 1 defuse kit, as they do rotate 4 players over towards A now. Holding 1 at B, that's going to be Devil. Only with a P250 as well.
JW peeking out mid. That pop flash was timed terribly. Maniac does manage to get the trade, but Existence was caught looking the wrong way. Twine boosted up. Found by Crims. 3-on-3, the equalizer. Handed to them on a silver platter. Alex going to fall as well as he tries to back into the corner down on quad. Crims continues this aggression on up. Maniac has to step up massively. Does take 1, but that will be it. Devil left in the 1v2. Only his P250 by his side.
Yeah, it doesn't look very promising for him. He'll be able to pick up like a UMP on the floor here. Maybe an AK if he's lucky. But no, oh, he has got a kit now as well, but no nades. No head armor. I'm not really believing just yet. Molotov deployed in his position as well. That just locks him out. That's so frustrating. Buys him about 6 more seconds here before he can do anything about it. Has to try and win this. Got to start running now, my friend. You've got 2 kills to find and a bomb to defuse. Walking in. Hoping he can find this frag. Not going to happen. Necro gets him, and he gets match point as well. Lovely stuff all round. 15-4. And we're going to see... Presumably the forced buy would make sense from Ldlc at this point. You can't really afford to drop any more rounds, but Harry, I think this could be the final round of the game. Fnatic have just blown them out of the water here today. Just a great unit right now. It seems they've got their mojo back in terms of the calculated aggression, the mixture of defaults and some nice executions as well. It seems like this unit makes a lot of sense. I think the addition of Golden could be quite a promising one going forward.
Yeah, definitely, right? And it even seems like Lecro is someone who... has been in and out of this roster, is really finding his place, finding his footing with Golden at the helm of the whole thing. I think it's a welcome change for Fnatic. We could see these guys back in fighting form. As for Ldlc, they've looked good at times recently. They've also had their downfalls. They recently lost in a best of 3, 2-0 to a team called Panthers, which I can't imagine you've ever heard of, but I was
Sounds
there.
like your favourite.
Yeah, well, they're my favourite, of course. It's the iconic match that we all think of, Henry. But you know, I mean, when I saw that happen, and I was very disheartened to learn that all the victories I'd seen Ldlc get were kind of nothing more than empty promise as opposed to anything too solidified. So yeah, I mean, Fnatic making their way out through mid. It is just a slaughterhouse. Alex able to take 1, but Devil can't step up to do much in return. Existence on the Deeg. Nothing. Maniac, 1v4. Fnatic knocking at his door, and he walks to the waiting arms of JW. That will be this first map over and done with Fnatic the victors in a very, very big way. A decisive win.
Yeah, put on the pro Counter-Strike there. Looks like Fnatic have turned up tonight. An emphatic style, looking great across the board. CT side pushing and finding kills left, right and centre. Ldlc couldn't find a response for it. Their best approach, holding T-spawn and hoping they walked into their crosshairs. They won a few rounds, but ultimately outclassed across the board. Boys, over to you on the desk.
That was a bit of a pantsing right there. Fnatic just gave Ldlc, and the camera had moved too soon before you could see that I've actually taken my trousers off. So the joke is now ruined. The joke is ruined of me not wearing pants.
Maybe you have pants on and you're just lying.
They're right there. I'm definitely not wearing them.
You're lying.
So let's just quickly talk about the fact that Crims, JW, Golden and Flusher all had 17 plus frags, and what that actually means for the assertive side of that CT half. Towards the B-bomb site, Crims and Golden were able to play in the site and just get the frags as they were executed on, and then later in the half they did a bit of assertiveness in Banana. And then for Flusher and JW, they were very assertive on middle, just like you said, Yuna. JW going window, going halls, just going for constant peaks, combat opping all day.
Yeah, interrupting the attacks before they really do happen. But at the same time, Fnatic not really moving a lot into the banana early parts of that CT half, giving the room to Ldlc, but still quite disjointed, to be honest with you. And just looking at how the rounds panned out, it didn't really seem to matter what Ldlc was going to throw at Fnatic. They were just out-aimed and outgunned for the most part of it.
Yeah, the problem for Ldlc is even when they were, losing rounds in the beginning of the game, they weren't doing that much damage. You know, at at 4-0, they win 2 consecutive gun rounds on the T side, and still Fnatic, not only do they have a buy, they have an ideal buy. They have everything, like M4s, ops, all the grenades. So it's going to be very, very difficult, no matter which team you are, to win 3 consecutive gun rounds on the T side of Inferno against the CT side who can buy fully. So I think that adds to Jonas' point about them not being able to do enough damage firepower-wise, being outmatched and outgunned.
I think, right here, the highlight of Crim's like anchoring the B bomb side. This is what we know this guy for. This is what we love him for. It's great to see him back there. And something just to note for players watching at home, if you're going to play a setup like that, if you're going to play the bomb site and give up banana control, you want to play both players towards the site, or at least one coffin/coil, whatever you want to call it, and then in the site so you can have that crossfire. You don't want someone to be on that CT side unless they're utilizing the boost, which Ldlc didn't even check sometimes when they executed on that bomb site, which just shows they were, like you guys saying, completely disjointed. It just looked like they were out of their depth.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can even see the high-level construct sometimes that the bomb site gets isolated. Two players are unable to help each other, and like you said, if that happens, then you're usually in a lot of trouble.
No hope here for Ldlc, I'd say, going into map 2.
Existence also top fragging for the team. Top fragging with 10 kills, so it's not really like he had an amazing game for himself. So yeah, for Ldlc coming into the second map, it has to be stepping up individually, right? Being able to put up, a bigger fight towards the Fnatic's individuals, because if you're not able to do that, no matter of calls or tactics is going to help you. Yeah,
to me, far too many times we saw the players of Ldlc just be too far apart, so that there was no chance for any retaliation when they were pushing. You want to see the team going as in, I like to call it as a wave, so that there's always someone close enough to be able to refract if you lose a guy. So that's a massive issue. You give guys like Crims on a bomb site all the room to maneuver and spray people down. What are you going to do?
If you can force Fnatic to respect you, that's the main thing you'd have to do there. That would have forced JW and Flusher to play, back towards Arch side, maybe more centralized towards the pit with that AWP, or playing more site-based, and he wouldn't be able to get away with that, but he was just doing it round and round again. And on that note, we're going to throw to a break, and we'll be back with the second map of this series, which is D_Cache.